Okay, confession. This clip was over a year ago. Yeah, it's taken me that long to finish this series. I loved it though, and I could talk about all of these books for hours, so here's the overview for reading the entire Throne of Glass series. Also, the clip you're about to see really tells you how much I knew going into this, which is nothing. Oh, a darlin is a place. Okay. And now I'm realizing I don't have a bookmark. I need another receipt. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. Wow. So yeah, high hopes. High hopes for this one. Okay, I'm on chapter 3 now. He just said he has a proposition for her, or he has a position for her. We're getting right into it. So it's been a couple months. Don't yell at me. I had to finish my finals and stuff. I do have good news though. So I finished Throne of Glass. It was good. It was very reminiscent to me of like the last third of Court of Thorns and Roses, when she has like all of the tasks to do. Very like that and the Hunger Games type of vibes going on. We love a YA dystopian novel. But as we all know, this is a massively long series. Pretend like those aren't there. And all the books are short. Actually, that's a lie. Whatever. But I did start on book 2. And let me tell you, I knew I was gonna do this. As soon as I started on book 2, boom, busting it out. I think I started this like a few days ago and I have like 100 pages left. Also exciting news, I have been changed into a tab girly and I'm loving it. I don't know why I didn't start doing this sooner, which I'm gonna go into like what each color means and everything. But first, I do have a favor. Obviously, I didn't do this for Throne of Glass. I'm gonna go through and see all of the pages that I dog-eared and see if something's going on there. But if you have read this and you have read her other books, it is like blaringly obvious to me, just having read these two, that they are supposed to connect at some point to her other series. Tell me. Don't spoil it though. Don't spoil it for people. Tell me in the comments, literally just page numbers of potential connections, if you have them marked or if maybe you're reading it right now, because I really want to go back through and tab this, but I also don't want to reread it because I literally just read it. That is your assignment. But like, if you don't want to, that's also okay. Apparently there's so many different ways to read this series. Personally, I think I'm gonna take the route of reading Assassin's Blade next. I've had a couple people recommend me that, so I feel like that's gonna be cool. I am also highly considering reading Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, I think it is. Reading them in tandem, like chapter in this one, chapter in this one. So I will be your guinea pig if you have not talked to anyone who has read them in tandem before. But yeah, so Crown of Midnight has been going good. It's so easy to read. It's just so quick. So basically, let me go ahead and go through what all of like my colorful tabs are for. It's very academic. Okay, so basically the way that I have it done is the little pink tabs are potential references to A Court of Thorns and Roses series. And then I know that they look like they're yellow, but in comparison to the yellow tab, they are orange. But these little guys are potential references to Crescent City. The green little boys right here are general connections to potentially both of them, or just like her writing as a whole. And then this little blue guy I added, I need to go back and tab some more references, but the blue is kind of like her dropping little hints in the plot of this series that I feel like are gonna probably come back. So yeah, I'm so excited. I think the next time I go to the bookstore, I'm gonna have to buy the next 2 books. Like, I think I'm gonna get Assassin's Blade and Heir of Fire because I am running through these so quickly now. There was a scrape of nail against the stone and the sound of breathing. It was not her own. Taloned hands. I know for a fact there is something described in the same way in Akatar, but I can't remember what it is. Okay, I just read page 379. How was that? How? This calls for a tab. Listen to this, man. You're not a murderer. She's literally an assassin. I finished it. I want to know what happens next, but I have to go get the prequel. I should probably get both because I'll finish it in a week again. Okay, I literally was about to sit here and give you a little update of Assassin's Blade, and I think I'm reading about the betrayal. Rage. Straight rage. So I'll be right back. Gross. If she doesn't murder him, if you're so upset about it, why not fight him now? I don't understand. I mean, like, kind of. Okay, this looks like a good time to maybe update you. So this one is split up into 4 almost like mini books. So it's split up into The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. That sounds so cringy. But that's the first one. Then The Assassin and the Healer, The Assassin in the Desert, The Assassin in the Underworld, and then The Assassin and the Empire, which I just got to the last one. So what I'll say, the first one felt very much like it was written to be a movie. Actually, there's a lot of this that kind of feels like that. So it starts like her and Sam, they're in the action, they're on a mission. It's not exactly what they expected. And then it kind of starts the whole plot and then ties that in. The second one, The Assassin and the Healer, that one kind of dragged for me a little bit. But The Assassin in the Desert, that one was vibes, okay? It felt very like, basically I was kind of imagining Aladdin mixed with like Tatooine from Star Wars. That was what I was envisioning as this setting. And honestly, I really liked it. That was like my favorite part of the whole book. Maybe I should just read Dune, you know? Maybe that's what I'm getting from this. Then there was The Assassin in the Underworld, which kind of is bringing the plot to its climax. There's a little bit more romance in there. But yeah, so now I'm on the last one. Not sure. You know what? I actually do know where it's going because this is a prequel. I've got just a little over 100 pages left, I think. Oh, speaking of, I'm also reading this while I'm doing a 24-hour reading vlog, so I'm gonna put it up there and in the description because it'll be posted before this is, because this is gonna take so long. Oh, what, 8, 9? Jesus. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, so I finished this a couple hours ago. I wanted to give it some time to settle. My brain is fried. Head empty, no thoughts. But I will say, something that I do appreciate about these, a pro and a con, it's just super easy to read. I see why people really like this one. I don't think it's gonna end up being my favorite in the series. I'm about to start the third one, so I will go ahead and let you know if that order does matter. Because I know I had questions about what freaking order to read these in. I will do my best to let you know what I would recommend. Well, I almost wish that I had read this first just because I would know the context of how she feels about her like mentor trainer guy. I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but I've been hung up on yesterday. So I don't know if I told you, but I started Heir of Fire. I'm on chapter 32. It's like 265 pages in out of 562. Halfway. So I haven't finished this one, obviously. So I can't speak for sure about this, but I am starting to have opinions on order of reading. So I almost feel like I should have read Assassin's Blade first because it kind of got me out of the groove of like this plot line, and now I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering what happened in the second one, even though I tabbed it so much. So now I'm having to go back my thoughts about all of the order, but that's my thoughts right now. Speaking of Heir of Fire, this one's my favorite so far. We finally meet the Fae, and just a lot of interesting things are happening, because not that the other books weren't interesting, but it was very Hunger Games, you know what I mean? Which I love, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, I've already seen this. Anyways, that's just my thoughts so far. Okay, also, tell me what y'all thought the Wyverns are supposed to look like, because personally, I'm imagining them as the things from Avatar, all black instead of like blue and green and stuff. So that's what I'm picturing. I'm gonna Google and see if there's a picture of what they're supposed to look like, because she keeps calling him a worm. It's throwing me off. So now I'm gonna put up what they actually look like. I'm assuming I was wrong. Look what I got. I finished Heir of Fire, honestly, months ago. Don't yell at me. The reason that I am on page 6 of Queen of Shadows is because I'm so nervous that I'm gonna forget what happened. I've really been thinking about it, and it is, for some reason, very difficult for me to retain her writing, because this happened to me with ACOTAR too. Like, I want to reread ACOTAR this year because I feel like I see references for it and I should know them. I've read the entire thing, and I'll see something on TikTok and be like, who even is that character? I don't remember them, can't place them. So with this series of hers, I really want to take my time and be really present when I'm reading it. So that's why I have yet to really start this. But I stopped at Heir of Fire because I remember exactly how it ended. I need to just suck it up. I just need to suck it up and finish it, you know? So I'll get back to you when I do that. So I think I'm kind of intimidated because I think I want to read Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn Tandem, and that's next. Scared. One more thing. I knew she was gonna do this. I hate the covers and the spines, and of course she releases that she's updating the covers. I've bought like most of the books already. It's okay. I'm actually really glad that she did though, because the new covers are so much better. Here, I'll put like a little on the screen of them, maybe like a little side by side, a little comparison. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna give them friends that want to read it, if I want to sell them, but I'm digging the new covers. I haven't seen them in person yet. All right, welcome back. Started it, and I'm actually reading it pretty fast. Exciting. It has really held my attention, and now that I've reviewed what happened in all the last ones, I feel like we're at a good pace now. So I'm on chapter 26. I've read a little over 200 pages now, and I have some updates. Okay, 1, I hate Hale. I also hate his name still. He's really, really irritating me in this book. Yeah, he's on thin ice. He's on thin ice. And that's how I feel about him. Also, there's a lot that's happening in this book. For a lot of Sarah J. Maas's books, it's like a lot of filling and a lot of world building, which I love. Don't get me wrong.
And then she stuffs all of everything that actually happens in like the last 200 pages. This one, things are actually happening like the entirety of the book so far, which that's very exciting. There's lots of fighting. Like there's things going on all sides, all POVs. Like I'm interested in all of them is what I'm trying to say. It has also referenced a lot of what happened in Assassin's Blade in this one. So I don't know what order people are reading that in, but a lot of those events do get brought up in this one. And I think the last one it did too. So somewhere around this area. Read it by, I guess. Okay, I still want more of Manon. I love her. She's so cutthroat. Are you serious? Yes. I just finished one of her chapters, which, speaking of, we just rolled in a new character, Miss Elodie Lockham. So she right now has been assigned to Manon as like her little maid. But we come to find out that she has some pretty high up, like royal-ish lineage. So it says that she should be the Lady of Paranth, which I looked at it on the little map, and it's a city like right above the Adarlan border in Terrasen. But her father was killed for being a trick. There's just a lot of details, whatever. But basically now she's a maid because her uncle sucks and her uncle's in charge. So I'm excited to see kind of how that plays into things. I feel like potentially she could be like a bridge between Manon and Aelin. Maybe, just a thought. We haven't seen any of Rowan in this book yet because she's back. So more Manon and more Rowan, that's what I want. Anyways, see you later.
Okay, so as I've said before, she did exactly what I thought she was gonna do. Comes out with the cute covers when I'm almost done reading it. That's okay though, because they're here. And I do have Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. I'm gonna tandem read them. I'm making a whole separate video for me doing this because I feel like it's gonna take a lot of effort. I'm gonna tab them. I'm gonna schedule it. I'm gonna do all the things. But when I'm done with both of them, I'll give a general overview of kind of how I felt about the whole thing. But if you wanna see these in depth, I've already released a reading vlog for it. So I'll link it. I'll put it up there, all of that. Thanks. They're done. All I have to say, obsessed. Obsession mode has started. Okay, obviously I did the tandem read. Obviously I've done a whole video on the tandem read. Loved it. If you're gonna do it, and you know you're gonna hate this one, audiobook it. It was so helpful. Audiobook it, please. It literally makes the biggest difference. Yeah, I'm obsessed. Empire of Storms. So good. Constantly there's stuff happening. It's so fast paced. Every point of view in this, I'm interested in. Oh, it's time to be real. Later. Also, just like, I don't know, everybody that I love is in this so much. Amanda has been my girl. Actually, I think it's Manon. I don't know, I met someone recently with that name. I think it's Manon. She's been my girl since day one. She's in this a lot. Just, this one, Nesrin's my freaking girl. Love her and her boo thing. Kale still irritates me. It was really giving Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. So, I did start Kingdom of Ash because it's so big. I had to start it immediately. So I'm like 100 pages through this one, which literally doesn't even look like anything. Doesn't even look like a dent. Because, sorry if I've said this already, I will reiterate, it's basically 1,000 pages. Which is fine because I love this world now. However, it is a lot. It's just a lot to keep in my little tote bag. It's just a little heavy on the shoulder. So this one, I don't know if it's like this little fantasy hangover I've been getting from reading these books so intensely. But the first like 50-ish pages, it took me a second to get into it. And it picks up like right where, I mean, obviously they're in the same timeline, but it picks right up where Empire of Storms ends off of. But yeah, it just took me a second to like really get back in. But now that I'm like 100 pages in, we're good to go. I'm ready to speed read this, if that's even possible. Okay, one, if you didn't notice, I put together my little table. But two, I started today on about page 500, so I had gotten through about half the book. And I have read over 100 pages today. Yes. So it's weird because I keep going in and out of being absolutely obsessed with it and then being kind of bored and like taken out of the fiend for it, if that makes any sense. So I kind of am having a love-hate relationship with this one. I don't know what's doing it for me. I think it's just because they're doing a lot of preparing and like there's battles happening, so you'd think that it would be super intense and stuff during all of them. But I think just because it's obviously not the last big battle by any means, I'm kind of like, okay, we know you guys are gonna get through it in some capacity. Like, I'm ready to move on. What are we doing? I'm still loving it, but it is that kind of like weird back and forth. What page am I even on right now? Okay, I'm on page 673. This is what I've got left. So we're really getting there. We're really, really getting there. It's going by faster than I thought it was going to. I did get to part 2. I don't even know if there's a part 3. It'd be kind of weird if there was because it took like 600 pages to get to part 2. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going with it. I have no words. I started recording because I hit, what is it? I was a little confused for a second, like not confused, but almost irritated because I thought the plot was going in kind of too predictable of a direction. I was like, okay, well, I guessed that from the beginning of this book, and I guessed that, and that's kind of cheesy. But then it kind of gets flipped on its head, and so many things start to happen. That was crazy. Not thinking that it was gonna get crazier. I didn't realize there was so much going on. Okay, the very end of page 791 shook. Like, I'll try not to spoil it, but I just what? So that one really got me, but then I kept reading, and oh my gosh, basically all of chapter 98 is just, oh my gosh. Why did I doubt her? Why did I doubt her in the chapters before this? I don't know. Because let's look at these little annotations for a second. That's like every page. So now I'm on chapter 99, basically 800 pages in. I get that there's things to wrap up still. So part of me is like, how is there only 180 pages left? And the other part of me is like, how is there 180 pages left? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Also, as I've been reading, I'm not someone that like tears up very often or cries. But one part had me tearing up. I don't remember what it was anymore, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with Manon. And it's not because like something sad's happening. I'm just like so proud of her, and I just get so excited and like, meh. Does anybody else do that? Chapter 99, and I don't even know. No predictions from here on out from me. I know everyone's been talking about like, oh, all of her series might connect, that whole thing. Like, she's been planning it from the beginning, and she even said that. So I was like, okay, cool, let me look out for those little things. She said something on page 796 where I'm like, oh my gosh, is that how this other thing happens? Like, did that do something in another book? It has to. It has to. I refuse to be wrong. Still, okay, before I get too worked up again, I'm gonna continue reading. Hello. This is me mourning every book that I've read since I finished the series. So good. It has been months, and doing this video has made me feel so overwhelmed. So let me just crack a couple of them open real quick, because for sure, 5-star series. Genuinely, if you're thinking about reading these and you get really overwhelmed looking at it, because I was one of those people, I feel like that's everyone. Honestly, it doesn't feel long. Like, it does, but when you're actually reading it, especially when you start out, they're much smaller books, so it's a lot more manageable. And it's not like you have to read the whole thing. You don't have to like it, but if you do, perfect, because there's a lot of it. I don't know what it was about me and Sarah J. Maas, but genuinely, like, even reading the ACOTAR series, I didn't want to like it. This series, I thought that I would enjoy it in a high fantasy dystopian novel phase, like moving on to this more like high fantasy romancy phase. But no, I nerded out over it, which I think that's why I really like the Crescent City books, because there's a lot of world building in it, and a lot of people don't like world building or info dumping. Personally, I love it. Tell me all of the little rules about this world, about the magic system, about whatever, little Easter eggs. I will highlight it, and then I will come back to it, and I will be plotting and scheming and trying to figure it out. So I love that personally. If I had time like that, I would read this again, genuinely. Okay, yeah, I remember why I was so upset. Looking back through these, honestly, just makes me want Crescent City 3 to come out so bad. So bad. Because if we see that connect to this in any way, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I really will. I wish I could say more stuff without spoiling it, but I need you to experience it. So, if you haven't read it, thanks for watching me talk about things very cryptically with little to no description. And if you have, thanks for getting to relive these with me, because that's basically it. This was incredible. I love this, I love that, I love those. Yeah, I'm gonna go look up theories now. Bye.